Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is LaQueen Battle First Aid Responder Services here in downtown Boston. Very happy to be here with you guys today. I'm going to go ahead and provide a little bit of feedback, and make some statements on the case between the Supreme Court case between right here between Harvard and UC system and the UNC system. So again, I want to make this very, very clear. Right now, Harvard University here in Boston, Cambridge, Massachusetts area, and the University of North Carolina, the whole conglomerate of their system. There's one particular campus in the University of North Carolina system, as UNC Chapel Hill, but the whole University of North Carolina system and Harvard University have a case against right now against Students for Fair Action, which their president and founder is Edward Bloom. He was not an attorney. I found it out through the Wikipedia article, but he is a community liaison, which guides people in a direction, advocate, whatever, liaison. Um, and Edward Bloom, Students for Fair Action. Edward Bloom is an older gentleman. Okay, Edward Bloom is an older white gentleman, and he formed a group of about 50 to 100 of student organizations across the United States, which came together and now have this case against Harvard University and the UNC system, stating that Harvard University discriminates in its principles for admissions against white and Asian applicants based on students' test scores, as well as discriminate, uh, give more preference to minority applicants versus white and Asian applicants. And as you know, everybody knows in the admission world, especially in the admission world and in schools in general, white as well as Asian applicants have a higher socioeconomic income. They live higher incomes than minorities, lower minorities, which is predominantly Black and Hispanic, Latino, as well as Native American, Indigenous students come from a lower socioeconomic background than white and Asian applicants as well. So the student in this case is arguing, he's saying that you discriminate me against my test scores are higher than Black students, so therefore we should not consider race as an issue anymore in student and in school and school applications, and therefore should be taken away, and that whole initiative should be taken away. So this case, I pretty much got interested in this case, but this case has the petitions have already been signed. There's been over 10 different petitions on change.org. 2005, 2008, 2010, 2012, 2016, 2020, 2020, saying that a lot of the students that are against affirmative action are minority students, and they do not want race as a factor in college admissions anymore. But if you consider it, that race involves a whole myriad of issues that involve affirmative action involves a whole myriad of issues rather than just race. Okay, so as a medical assistant, my job is to take care of the patient and then know the patient's history, know the patient's medical history, know their symptoms, know their diagnosis, know why they come into the doctor's office, that know the reason why they're there. That is my job as a medical assistant to physically and primarily evaluate them before they are seen by a medical personnel. Okay, as well as a teacher and a professor. A teacher and a professor wants the students to come into their classroom and wants to evaluate them based on the same level, but still, even though everybody is in that same classroom, in that same classroom seat, not everybody is on the same level in that classroom setting. Okay, so you have to evaluate that. Everybody comes from different experiences and different cultures, but we're all sitting in the same classroom. Okay, so one student's even though one student's test scores may be different from another student's test scores, you have to consider the whole the whole factor the whole factor that is evaluated by the whole student body. Okay, not not all of the student body has the same test scores. Okay, not all of the student body has the same um, GPA. The whole entire student body doesn't have the same GPA. The whole entire student body does not speak the same language. The whole entire student body wasn't born in the same place. The whole entire student body doesn't make the same amount of much money. The whole entire student body probably doesn't even speak English. Okay, so you have to evaluate what the whole entire student body is composed of, especially dealing with um, private universities like Harvard, which afford um, which provide programs and initiatives to help those who come from a different background. They provide fellowships, they provide internships, they provide um, programs for people to come in from different countries to discuss what's going on with their political issues. They provide so many programs and initiatives all around the world, okay, as well as the undergraduate students and the graduate and the medical, the doctoral, all those programs that Harvard has, and even a state funded institution like the University of North Carolina system, as well as any other kind of state funded educational college university system provides. Okay. The UNC system is just one of the major colleges and university systems, one of the biggest ones around the United States. It's not the biggest one, but it's one of the biggest ones. Okay. But at the same time is you cannot compose the whole entire student body based on just one issue. And that's what affirmative action is for. Affirmative action is composed of a whole myriad of issues. Race is just a little bit a part of affirmative action. Affirmative action also consists of your disability status. ADA was also founded under the principles of affirmative action, was also founded under the American with Disabilities Act. Also composed um, Affirmative action also composed of your sex and gender. The gender also composed of affirmative action too as well. Affirmative action also deal with the voting rights. It's a whole myriad of issues. Sports, Title VI funding, financial aid. Financial aid has a big, huge issue dealing with affirmative action. So I know I'm talking to myself right now, but I know somebody will hear me when this video is pretty much downloaded onto YouTube. When you guys hear me a little bit about this later, but affirmative action is a whole myriad of things. Okay, now they're really not. Mr. Blum is really not talking about financial aid like he should be, because in fact, uh, minority students qualify for are able to get more funding from the federal government because of their low income status, as well as other white and Asian applicants, just the same. But there are more provisions for low income and minority and diverse applicants to come in here and to be afforded federal funding for a college education. And I think that's also maybe a consideration in this case, but it is not a consideration in this case. Financial aid and federal financial aid is not being considered in this case. What's being considered in this case is using race as admissions into the application process. That is what is being considered in this case. What is being considered in this case is using race, your race and your ethnicity, as a factor in the application process. And it could change a whole completely uh, financial aid, Title VI funding for the schools and universities. It could affect their endowments. It could affect their donors. It could affect their diversity and inclusion ratings. All of that is a whole myriad of issues, but it hasn't got that big yet. A lot of businesses and Facebook and LinkedIn and school districts all across America right now, and even sports teams, professional, the NBA, the NFL, um, different activists right now are talking about diversity and inclusion. And right now, these millions and millions of dollars of these inclusion programs are being paid out to these school districts all across America to help promote inclusion. But you cannot promote inclusion without including diversity. You can't just take away diversity and call it inclusion. You can't do that. Inclusion is not the same thing as diversity. Okay, inclusion is not the same thing as diversity. Okay, one more time. Inclusion is not the same thing as diversity. Okay, you cannot replace one with the other. Inclusion means we include everybody at the same time, but diversity means we accept you at the same time. We know everybody has differences. Okay, diversity means we know everybody has differences, and we accept the fact that everybody has a difference, and we accept you for your differences, and we therefore will appreciate and acknowledge your differences. That's what diversity means. Diversity means we accept and we acknowledge your differences. Inclusion means we just include everybody. And right now, when you have school districts all across America, and when you have NBA and NFL teams promoting inclusion, they need to know the difference between the two. Okay, so right now, inclusion is not the same thing as diversity. Okay, so I just wanted to go ahead and um, get that out of the way. So anyway, um, again, the case is right now going before the United States Supreme Court, saying that you cannot use race as a factor in the college admissions process. It is not talking about the college admissions scandals right now, but people are paying off their kids to go to school. It's not talking about that. It's not talking about that. It's not talking about financial aid. It's not talking about any of that. It's just talking about whether you can still consider race and ethnicity in the college admissions process. And I think whoever wrote this um, legal jargon, whoever wrote this jargon and this precedents, the Supreme Court docket, forgot to include a couple legal texts in here. But it's right now it's just in layman's terms. So it's in basic layman's terms. Whoever wrote the Supreme Court docket information, but it should have included also on the Supreme Court docket. It should have also included the University of North Carolina system, not just University of North Carolina, but the University of North Carolina system, as well as it should have also included considering race and considering ethnicity. Okay. It should have also included race, and it should have also included ethnicity in college admissions. And usually there is a difference between race, there is a difference between ethnicity. But when you're talking about your ethnicity, you're usually referring to if somebody is Hispanic and white, or not Hispanic and white. And that's another difference between the two. But it actually should have also included using race and ethnicity in this legal jargon. Okay. So anyway, that's this case is going before the Supreme Court this October in Washington, D.C. I hope you guys will continue to support the whole affirmative action, the realm of what affirmative action is as well. Again, it's not just about race and ethnicity. It also includes a whole other myriad of issues talking about Title VI funding, NCAA sports, college, and athletics, um, disability, the American with Disabilities Act. Um, it also talks about the gay and lesbian transgender community, the queer community as well, your sex and your gender as well, your sexual status as well. It that affirmative action includes a whole myriad of issues, not just about race, but it includes a whole myriad of issues. So that's what I'm building the case. I'm building on this day by day by day. So I've already submitted documents to the Amari Healy's office here in Boston, the attorney general for Massachusetts. I've also submitted a statement to the attorney general in North Carolina. I've also submitted something to Mari Healy's office saying if we can include this on the voters docket to be for the elections and this year, to see what voters think about this issue. What do voters think about this issue? Do they really support affirmative action or not? So that's also something to also consider too as well as I've submitted other statements to various other people here in various other figures in Al Sharpton's office, other figures too as well. So please keep me in your thoughts and prayers. I'm kind of going through it personally right now with some transportation issues, but I do need your help and support. And please continue to donate if you can. You can donate via Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. And just support one of my books, support my books, my efforts. You can buy my books. I know right now people are saying, there's no I in team. We all are a team. So there is no I in team. But at the same time, you have to continue to support people in the efforts that they are making and what they're continually doing as well. Okay. As well. So right now, this is LaQueen Battle. I really do appreciate your continued support and encouragement right now. So um, I really do appreciate your encouragement and support. Again, I'm in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm not in Coney Island, New York. I'm not in Chicago. I'm not in Gary, Indiana. Um, I am in. I'm not in Los Angeles, California. I'm not in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm not in Florida, Texas. I am in Boston, Massachusetts. So if you do need to reach me, you can email me at battlefirstaid@icloud.com. That's BATTLE, the number one, STAID at icloud.com. And I have a whole bunch of Facebook friends too as well. I got this top from Rainbow. This is a really cute top from Rainbow. Really, really cute top. I got this from Rainbow too as well. So it's a cute little winter top. I got this from Rainbow, so it's really, really cute. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and about 20 minutes into this broadcast. Thank you, YouTube. I really appreciate your encouragement and support, as well as Trish Paytas. Congratulations on the pregnancy, Trish. Congratulations. So I'm going to go ahead and make a statement. I do have a video a friend made for me. This is for action. I really do appreciate that support and encouragement. Um, I'm going to go ahead. I make a statement that the University of North Carolina system said about the admissions requirements, as well as what Harvard University has stated about this case. So I'm going to give you Harvard University's statement first, and then I'm going to go ahead and give you Harvard University's statement first, and then I will go ahead and provide a statement from online from the University of North Carolina system website. That's northcarolina.edu, not UNC Charlotte, not UNC Chapel Hill, but from northcarolina.edu. So here it is. This is available on harvard.edu's website, and you go in the background, you try to look up lawsuits and cases and look up affirmative action case. So here it is. It says, if the lawsuit against Harvard University succeeds, it would diminish students' opportunities to live and learn in a diverse campus environment, denying them the kind of experiences that are central to Harvard's educational mission and critical for success in our diverse society. Harvard College and University does not discriminate against applicants from any group in its admissions requirements. We will continue to vigorously defend the right of Harvard and other colleges and universities to seek the educational benefits that come from a class that is diverse on multiple dimensions. From its capacity for academic excellence to its ability to help create a campus community that gives each student the opportunity to learn from peers with a wide variety of academic interests, perspectives, and talents. Again, one more time. Harvard will continue to vigorously defend the right of Harvard to help create a campus community that gives each student the opportunity to learn from peers with a wide variety of academic interests, perspectives, and talents. Now, here is from the North Carolina. I don't know if you can see that; it's kind of blurry. The UNC Systems website. Again, UNC has over 15, 60 different campuses all across the state. It has Fayetteville State University, Appalachian State University, NC Central University, ECU, North Carolina School of Science and Math, School of the Arts, UNC Pembroke, Western Carolina University, Winston-Salem University, UNC Asheville, UNC Greensboro, UNCW, UNC Charlotte, NC State University, North Carolina A&T State University, Fayetteville State University, and NC Chapel Hill. So that is the UNC system. UNC University of North Carolina system. All this is available on the website northcarolina.edu. Here is a statement from northcarolina.edu admissions website. Thank you for listening today. Appreciate it. The UNC minimum admission requirements. The UNC system is a public university open to anyone who is prepared for success at one of its institutions. The system-wide minimum admission requirements are guidelines that help future students and university administrators determine if applicants are ready to meet the challenge of a 4-year degree program, or if they might benefit from more preparatory work at a community college. As a mechanism for predicting student success, the UNC system's minimum admission requirements take into consideration 3 key measurements of students' previous achievement: high school courses, high school grade point averages, GPA, and test scores. The benchmarks outlined below represent a system-wide minimum for admission. However, meeting these requirements does not guarantee admission to any specific university or program. Again, however, meeting these requirements does not guarantee admission to any specific university or program. One more time. However, meeting these requirements does not guarantee admission to any Pacific university or program. Admission to individual institutions and to some academic programs within institutions may be more competitive and may demand additional requirements beyond the minimums listed below. Please check with each institution for additional information related to its specific admissions requirements. The UNC Board of Governors recently adopted a time-limited policy provision that allows a student to meet minimum eligibility requirements for admissions consideration. Again, they adopted a time-limited policy provision that allows a student to meet minimum eligibility requirements for admissions consideration. I'm not bored. A student who earns at least a 2.5 high school grade point average or a minimum test score on either the ACT 19 or the SAT 1010 is eligible for review by any of the 16 UNC system universities. A student must still take either the ACT or the SAT to be considered for admission. All applicants must submit a valid score as part of their application to any individual institution. Please note that while these are the minimum requirements for consideration, they do not guarantee admission. Again, please note that while these are the minimum requirements for consideration, they do not guarantee acceptance. Please note that while these are the minimum requirements for consideration, they do not guarantee acceptance. In order to predict student success, the UNC system also considers how well students perform in their high school coursework and in all national achievement tests. The UNC system is committed to serving students from all walks of life and at every stage in their intellectual and professional development. Older students seeking admission to the university for the first time, transfer students, veterans, and active members of the military all have encountered immersive learning experiences that enhance their academic histories. Consequently, the university's expectations regarding GPAs and scores differ according to the applicant's age and previous experience in higher education and the military. So that is a little bit of what the UNC North Carolina system, their website said. I do have all of this available on the website on my Instagram page. You can follow me on my Instagram page as well as you can follow this on my Instagram. And pretty much from there, you can go from there. Okay, so again, they're just talking about the bare minimum. Your test scores will not just get you, you cannot get in college by your test scores alone. It's a whole myriad of issues. It's community involvement, it's volunteering, it's sports, it's athletes, it's your clubs, it's your organizations that you've been a part of. You just cannot consider just test scores as a factor in the college admissions process, even though it used to be that way. It used to be that way in the early 1990s, especially with President George Bush passed the No Child Left Behind Act that has since been debated over and over and over and over again, the No Child Left Behind Act. So we still have a lot to work on right now in this new system and this new this new case. So again, the case goes before the United States Supreme Court this October 2022 in our nation's highest court in Washington, D.C., considering whether race should be used as a factor in the college admissions process. Okay, race. It should have also included you cannot use race as well as ethnicity in this case. It should have also put that into the jargon, but it did not. It did not put ethnicity in the jargon. It just said considering race. Okay, so it should be there right now. Harvard Gazette, as well as a couple other news reporters, have also tried to um, say, "Oh, the case is going to be thrown out. The case is going to be thrown out." But so far, the case is actually still continuing on. So arguments begin in October 2022 in Washington, D.C. So that's what I've been fighting for the last 3 weeks here in the city of Boston, dealing with people being harassed on the street. That is kind of what I'm dealing with, but I'm trying to do my best to keep it together and keep it composed. So I really do appreciate all your encouragement and support. This is LaQueen Battle. Thank you so much of Battle First Aid Responder Services. Thank you so much for your time, attention, and energy. Again, there's a couple other things I wanted to point out. I've been passing this around to different people in Boston and Cambridge, all over. There's a couple of things that should have been changed to the jargon in this legal terms. The jargon should have been changed to say whether to consider race as well as ethnicity in the jargon. And it also should have said included. It did not include financial aid or any students' financial aid in the financial aid process as well. But that's another thing too as well. But it should have said considering race and ethnicity. But it didn't. It just made it simple, just saying race. That should have been included in the jargon and in the legal terms, the legal text right here. Okay, so that's what I know so far. Again, I really do appreciate your time, energy, and attention today. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me. I really do appreciate it. This is LaQueen Battle First Aid Responder Services. I don't know everything, but I know a little bit. So every little bit I do say I want to encourage you guys to continue to go out there and help me doing what's necessary in order to get things done. Okay, so this is LaQueen. Thank you so much for encouragement and support. I really do appreciate it today. I'm here in Boston. Please continue to keep me in your thoughts and prayers, and God bless you. Again, the case goes before the Supreme Court this October 2022, the second week of October, whether to consider race as a factor in college admissions. Okay, so that goes before the Supreme Court this October in our nation's highest court in Washington, D.C. So thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you today. And I'm just kind of going through some stuff. So please continue to keep me in thoughts and prayers, okay? This is LaQueen Battle. God bless you.